आ आ आ शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। Srimatre Namaha. So we will start with just 1 second. Where did my file go? Just give me 1 second. Okay. So we will start with verse number 89. First, let us learn to recite the verse. नखैर्नाकस्त्रीणां करकमलसङ्कोचशशिभिः नखैर्नाकस्त्रीणां करकमलसङ्कोचशशिभिः तरूणां 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 दिव्यानां हसत इव ते चण्डिचरणौ तरूणां. So there is a sandhi, sashibhis tarunam, but we are, since we break it up at that line, we will break that sa does not become relevant. So nakhairnakastrinam karakamala sankocha shashibhi tarunam divyanam hasata ivate chandi charanau falani swasthebhyah. Swa, swa, you have to be clear about that visarga. Swasthebhyah falani swasthebhyah kisalaya karagrena dadatam falani swasthebhyah kisala karagrena dadatam daridrebhyo bhadram श्रियमनिष महनाय ददतो दरिद्रेभ्यो भद्रां श्रियमनिष महनाय ददतो. Full verse. नखैर्नाकस्त्रीणां करकमलसङ्कोच शशिभिः तरूणां दिव्यानां हसत इव ते चण्डिचरणौ फलानि स्वस्थेभ्यः किसलयकराग्रेण ददताम् दरिद्रेभ्यो भद्रां श्रियमनिशमहनाय ददतो. Let us do word meanings first, then we will get into the full meaning. Nakhai, nakhaihi, nakha is nails. Nakhaihi, by the nails. Naka strinam, naka is the space or wide. Naka is the swarga. So naka strinam. Nakastrinam, maidens or women living in the the celestial places. Typically, we would say they are apsaras or devis. Karakamala, karakamala, hands, lotus. Sankocha shashibhi. Sankocha means not the sankocha as in Hindi. Sankocha or doubt. No, no. Here sankocha to become sankirnam, should become smaller. Sankocha shashibhi. Now, kara kamala sankocha shashibhi. Shashibhi, the moon. Tarunam. Now here it is a dirgha ukar. Tarunam, the small u, taruna will mean young. Taru means tree. Tarunam divyanam, divine trees. Hasata iva. Hasata iva, laughing at. Laughing at. Te, your. Chandi, O Chandi, the goddess who destroyed Chand. Charanau, 2 feet. charanau, plural, charanau, palani, fruits, or in this context, ashirvada, boons. Swah, thebhyaha. Swah, swah here is bhur, bhuva, swaha. The swaha means here the swarga. So those who reside, sthebhyaha, those who reside, those who live in swarga, that is devas. Kisalaya karagrena, kara hands, agrena fingertips, kisalaya tender leaves or shoots, tender leaves or shoots. A lot of times you will find in primary schools, they name the primary school as a kisalaya. So it is because they are tender shoots. So kisalaya karagrena dadatam, giving, daridrebhya, to the poor, bhadram shriyam, auspicious prosperity, anisham, day and night, ahnaya, instantly, dadatau, giving. So what is he saying? Acharya is saying over here, O Divine Mother Chandi, your 2 feet, they seem to mock the celestial wishing trees, kalpavriksha of Swarga. Those divine trees, they are giving fruits to only to the gods, using their tender leaf-like branch tips. So I'll explain all of that. Your feet give auspicious wealth and prosperity to the poorest of people instantly and at all times. Your toenails, shining like the moons, they cause the lotus hands of the celestial maidens to close in prayer, just as the real moon causes the lotus to close. Now, let us understand this. So, Kalpa Vriksha. Where is the Kalpa Vriksha? Firstly, what are the types of Kalpa Vriksha? So, if you see, there are 5 different types of Kalpa Vriksha. The first is called Mandara. Mandara Pushpa, Bahu Pushpa, so in the Lingashtakam we see, right? Mandara. So Mandara Pushpa or Mandara is also called Mandana. It is known for removing all types of dukkha. Dukkha Vinashaka, Mandara. Then Parijata. Parijata appeared during the Samudra Manthan. And it was claimed by Indra and it was put in the Amaravati garden. It was then taken from there by Krishna and Satyabhama, and it was brought to Dwaraka. When Dwarka sank, Parijata went back to Swarga. Then Chandana. This is actually, it is pronounced as Santana. It is a tree which is like Chandan. It is there in heaven and it gives children. Then Harichandana. This is a fragrant tree which has red. So it is on earth, we call it Rakta Chandana. And Kalpa Vriksha. This is the main tree of giving life, abundance, anything that you want. Kalpa means one is the time, but here it is Kalpana. So whatever you can think of, that a Vriksha will come. On earth, the Kalpa Vriksha is generally the Ashwatha tree or the banyan tree. It is represented as the Kalpa Vriksha because it is very long lived. Now, if you have to get something from the Kalpa Vriksha, how do you get? You have to go to the Kalpa Vriksha, then you have to light a lamp, you have to take some rope, you have to tie it around. You would have seen a lot of people doing that, no? Vata Savitri, Vratam, and all those vratas that they do, they take this string, then they go around the tree 7 times, then they light a lamp, then they put water, and then they offer one small sweet at the tree, and so on and so forth. And then they say, Om Kalpavrikshaya Namaha, and so on and so forth. All of that. What the Acharya is saying is that you don't have to do anything of this sort. All you need to do is surrender at her feet. And whatever prosperity that we require comes to us. It is very interesting. While we all the time are saying we want to be prosperous, Kunti, after the entire war was over, and she knew that Krishna is the Paramatma, and this is in Srimad Bhagavad, not in Mahabharata. She says, I pray for grief, I pray for trouble, I pray for dukkha. Please give me as much as dukkha as you can. Why does she pray like this? Any idea?
It's at that time only you will take the name of the Lord.
Yes, very true. Because she says, when I am prosperous, I think I forget you. But I am in dukkha, then I remember you. But then Kabir puts it so beautifully. Kabir says, दुख में सुमिरन करे सब कोई, दुख में सुख में करे ना कोई, दुख में सुमिरन करे जोई, दुख काहे को होई. So, can we remember him, her at all times? That is the Acharya saying, that if I am at her feet, then whatever comes from her continuously flowing is the prosperity that I actually need and require. So the 5 types of trees, all of them, all the benefits of all those 5 types of trees, whether it is Mandara, Parijata, Chandana, Harichandana, Kalpavriksha, all of them, just think of them as the 5 toes of Devi's right foot. Why right foot? Because her left foot is folded and it is under her, she is sitting on it. Ardha Siddhasan, right? And her right foot is on the floor. And that is the foot that you can hold. And when you hold that right foot, all the 5 toes, it is like you are holding Mandara, Parijata, Chandana, Harichandana, Kalpavriksha, all of them, all the benefits of them are coming from those 5 feet. And the Shriyam that is coming to us, it is Bhadram Shriyam, auspicious Shriyam. What is auspicious Shriyam? Auspicious Shriyam means Shriyam that is beneficial not only to me, but to people around me also. So last time I was talking about this and said lottery, winning money in lottery. And there is data which shows that people who win money in a lottery lose it also very fast. Because it is not Bhadram Shriyam. There is a saying, I don't remember which is the exact words of the saying, but which says ki chori ka paisa doctor ko jata hai. So, because if you have taken money, you have got money by cheating, then the ill effects of that will be that you will fall ill. You will have to go to a doctor. Now, psychologically also that is true. Unless you are a psychopathic thief, which means that you have no guilt feeling. If you have taken money from somebody, then you have guilt feeling. If you have guilt feeling, your cortisol is all the time high, your adrenaline is all the time high. What will happen? Your heartbeat will be high, your blood pressure will be high, your sugar will not be normal. You will have to land up with a doctor. But if you have done your day's work very diligently and you have earned the money properly, you are sleeping at night very nicely. So here he is saying Bhadram Shriyam. By praying to you. Now, another thing that he compares, and he says he's laughing. Why is he saying that? He's saying it is as if you are mocking the Kalpavriksha. Why? Because Kalpavriksha gives only to when you are praying to it. You are doing all. Here, you don't need to do any prayer. All you need to do is say, Ma, you are my mother. And I know nothing except to say, Ma, 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 Ma. Acharya, in one of his works, and Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa Thakur also compares. He says there are 2 types of bhakti. One is called the Markata Bhakti. Right? Not Vairagya. We are not talking of Vairagya. Here, Markata Bhakti. I am devoted, but like a Markata. You know what is the meaning of Markata, right? Markata क्या होता है?
Monkey.
Correct, monkey. So now just see if you go to any temple and you will find a lot of monkeys over there. So you will find a small monkey also, and that will be clinging to the mother. माँ को चिपक के पेट के पास ऐसे पकड़ के रखता है. माँ इधर उधर इधर उधर छलांग मार रही है, वो पकड़ के रखता है. राइट? वो माँ को पकड़ के रखता है, माँ इधर उधर छलांग मारती है और माँ के साथ वो घूमते रहता है. दूसरा होता है मार्जर भक्ति. मार्जर क्या होता है?
Cat.
Right. In Marathi, I think it is manzar, but in Sanskrit the word is marjar. Marjar is cat. Cat क्या करता है? छोटा जो बिल्ली का बच्चा होता है, वो क्या करता है? वो हिलता भी नहीं है,
Hold is not.
वो हिलता भी नहीं है. It will not hold. It will sit in one place and say meow, 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 meow. And the mother has to come. The mother has to come and lift the baby, take it to a proper place, give it food, take it, make it protected. So Thakur says, and Acharya in one of the places also says, I don't remember the exact text from which I'm quoting here. He says, bhakti is important, but what type of bhakti? Are you saying I am a markata, which means I will hold to you? Then the ego is still there. The ego is still there. I am holding to you. It is your strength that you are putting on to the mother and holding on, like the monkey. It is good. But better than that is Marjara Bhakti. Complete give up. I have nothing. I have only you. Meow, 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 meow. मैं तो सिर्फ म्याऊ ही करना जानता हूं, बाकी सब कुछ तुमको करना पड़ेगा. That is surrender. That is Atma Samarpanam. That Atma Samarpanam is what Acharya is saying here. When I give that, when I do that to her feet, then the Kalpa Vriksha, it automatically flows. All the blessings that a Kalpa Vriksha can give are automatically there. You don't even have to ask. So it is like he's mocking. Hasata iva. He says, Hasata iva, laughing at. Now, we have to understand that her grace is limitless. In any bhakti tradition, the surrender is always to the feet, not to the face, not to the breast, not to the chest, not to the stomach. It is always to the feet. So that is why in the total description of Soundarya Lahari, where we started, we looked at all the anga, and we started with the kapala, we started with the hair, and we started with the kapala and the face, and so on and so forth. Once we have reached the feet, Acharya has stopped. He is now stuck with the feet, because that is where the ego has to go. The ego has to surrender. In the Advaitic sense, because you have to remember that Acharya is a purest Advaita. While he is also a Shakta, he is also an Advaita. At a purest Advaitic sense, all he is saying is that feet are the representation of that complete cosmic Brahman. And when I surrender completely my ego into that, I have dissolved. And therefore, Aham Brahmasmi becomes a reality. First, there has to be duality. First, there has to be multiplicity. I am seeing so many things. That multiplicity then becomes duality. There is only me and you. And then there is nothing, only you. So that is the Advaitic reference. The other reference here is also very important, which is that for the first time in the entire Soundarya Lahari, he refers to Devi as, he has referred earlier as Amba, he has referred as Matre, Mata, etc. But for the first time, he refers to her as Chandi. He is here indirectly telling us to be angry. Chandi is the goddess of anger. Or rather, she is the destroyer of anger. She destroyed Chand. Right? So, anybody knows the name of the lion on which she rides when she is in the form of Durga? See, she has various avatars. In all the avatars, her Vahan will be different, right? In the avatar of, in the form of Saraswati, she is riding a sword. I'm sorry. So in the form of Durga, she rides on a lion. The lion was given to her from by whom? Who gave her the lion? Anybody remembers?
Is it Kesari or
No. First,
Soma something, Nandi?
Nandi is
No?
Nandi is Shiva's bull.
Yeah. Correct. Okay, not Kesari.
Kesari means lion.
Okay.
The word Kesari means lion.
Hmm.
Means Kesar, mane. So,
Yeah.
who gave the lion? See, she has instruments in her hand, no? She has astras in her hand. Who gave her the chakra? Obvious. Vishnu gave the chakra. Who gave her the Trishul? Obvious. Shiva gave the Trishul. Who gave her the lion? You are on mute, Shailaja ji.
So Pashupati,
Himavan.
Shiva gave it.
Himavan.
Ah.
Himavan gave the lion. Now it's so interesting. It basically means that in the Himalayas at that point of time, in that Puranic time, there were lions. Those lions got extinct slowly, and then ultimately now only in Gir forest only those lions are available. अभी कहीं दूसरे हम लोग को lions मिलते नहीं है, सिंह मिलते नहीं है. Tigers have spread, but lions have not. Lions को छोटा हो गया उनकी जगह. हिमवान ने उसको शेर दिया. शेर का नाम था महाचंड. सिंह का नाम था महाचंड.
I see.
He was ferocious to the point of destroying the more anger than any anger that anger can be there. So what is the use of this anger? If there is supposed to be anger, then where is the use of this anger? Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa says that every emotion that arises in us, it can be redirected inward. Most emotion that arises is always facing outward, right? Most emotion. मुझे वो अच्छा नहीं लगा, उसके ऊपर गुस्सा आया, इससे मुझे खुशी हुई, etc., etc., etc. It is redirected outward. All emotions, most emotions. The emotion is inside, but it is directed outside. किसी के ऊपर गुस्सा होता है, किसी के ऊपर गुस्सा हो रहा है. देखिए, लैंग्वेज ऑल्सो ना. उसने मुझे खुश किया. It is directed outside. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa says, can I redirect that and turn it inward? And say, I am feeling that anger. Now let me look at it and say, where did that anger come from and why is it that I am feeling angry? I am now going to be angry on the anger itself and I am going to kill it. That is the power of Chandi. That is when you invoke Chandi and she destroys that ability to get angry also. That is how she kills Chanda. And that is why that he says, I pray to you, O Chandi. Because I have reached verse number 89 and I have yet not been able to see you. Now I am getting angry. No, even that anger should be destroyed. So that is where we are seeing in this verse. Let us recite that verse once more for revision. Nakhernaka strinam karakamala sankocha shashibhi tarunam divyanam hasataiva te chandi charanau falani swastebhyah kisalaya karagrena dadatam daridrebhyo bhadram shriyamanisha mahanaya dadato. So that is the verse number 89. Let us look at verse number 90. Unless there are any questions on 89, then we'll move on to verse number 90.
Could you please tell more about anger? You spoke about anger just now, why it is required.
See, okay. Anger is a natural. There are two natural emotions. Most other emotions derive from these two emotions. What are the two emotions? Number one is kama, the other is krodha. Desire and anger. And they are also very closely related. They are very closely related. I want something. I don't get it. I start with anger. Right? They are very closely related. In the Rakhi Purnima, those who have been invested with the sacred thread, they are supposed to change the sacred thread, right? Janu Navikaran ka ceremony hota hai. In South, it is a fairly large festival. In the North, it is not so very popular, but then those who are following the Gayatri Upasana, they will definitely be doing this. one day before this ceremony is done, we are supposed to recite one mantra 1008 times. And that mantra is Kamokarashita Manyurakarashita Narayanaya Namaha. Manyur means anger. Kama took me away from Narayana. Manyu, anger took me away from Narayana. Oh Narayana, I pray to you, please forgive me. 1008 times Kamokarashit Manyurakarashit. Kama and Krodha are the root of this, and therefore, in the entire Puranic literature, you will see that both Kama and Krodha have been given the status of Devatas. Krodha in the form of Rudra and Kama in the form of Kamadeva. Because they are so powerful. But it is only when you completely surrender the ego at her feet, that is when that anger can be subdued. So when I call out to her as Chandi, it is a recognition that yes, there is anger in me. But that anger is also, my negativity, my anger is also submitted to you. Gurudev used to say that there is no papa, there is no punya. Anything that takes you away from that merger into that union is papa. Anything that takes you away towards that merger is punya. So if anger takes you away, it is papa. If desire takes you away, it is papa. That is what Acharya is saying in here. Hey Chandi. When he is praying to her with a specific name, there is a meaning. Any other question? Okay, let us move to.
Thank you. Dhanyavad, sir. Anna.
Sorry?
No, I said Dhanyavad, Anna.
Okay.
I said.
Okay. Now, next verse, verse number 90. Dadane dinebhya Shriyamanishamashanusadrishi. Dadane dinebhya Shriyamanishamashanusadrishi. Dadane dinebhya Shriyamanishamashanusadrishi. Mamandam Soundarya Prakaramakarandam Vikirati. Mamandam Soundarya Prakaramakarandam Vikiriti. Dadane dinebhya Shriyamanishamashanu Sadrishi. Mamandam Soundarya Prakaramakarandam Vikirati. Tavasmin mandarastabakasubhage yatu charane. Tavasmin mandarastabakasubhage yatu charane. Nimajjanmajjiva karanacharana shatcharanatam. Nimajjanmajjiva karanacharana shatcharanatam. Tavasmin mandarastabakasubhage yatu charane. Nimajjanmajjiva karanacharana shatacharanatam. Dadane dinebhya Shriyamanishamashanusadrishi. Mamandam Soundarya Prakaramakarandam Vikirati. Tavasmin mandarastabakasubhage yatu charane. Nimajjanmajjiva karanacharana shatcharanatam. तोड़ के recite करने में हर समय difficulty होती है. When you recite it together, it's far easier. Okay, let us do the word meanings. Dadane, giving. Dinebhyah, to the poor, to the helpless. Shriyam, wealth, prosperity, auspiciousness. Shri is a far larger word than only wealth. Anisham, day and night. Asha, anushadrishin, according to the desires, hopes. Asha, hopes, not desires, hopes, according to their hopes. Amandam, manda means slow. Amandam means abundant. Soundarya prakara makarandam. Soundarya, beauty. Prakara, collection. Makarandam is the honey or nectar from the flowers. So this means the collection of beauty in the form of the honey of the beauty, of the collected honey of beauty. Vikirati, scattering. Tava asmin, in this, your in this. Mandara stabaka subhage. So, subhage, charming. Stabaka, bouquet. Mandara, we have already seen, one of the flowers of one of the kalpavrikshas. Charane, at the foot. Nimajjanna. Nimajjanna, to be immersing. Madjiva, my soul, my jiva. Karana, charanaha. Karana is the sense organs. Charana, feet. Shat charanatam, six-footed creature. Six-footed creature in context, all insects. The definition of insective, the family called insects, it will have 6 feet. But ants also, for example, will have 6 feet. But when we are looking at honey, nectar, and so on and so forth, then the 6 feet are specifically represented as a honeybee. Honeybee. Yatu, may it attain. So what he is saying, O mother, your feet, your holy feet, continuously are giving wealth to the poor according to their desires, perpetually showering them with the abundant nectar of beauty. My jiva, which possesses 6 sense organs, like the 6-feeted bee. 6 sense organs, 5 senses, and the manas. Acting as its feet, it will crawl like a 6-legged honeybee and will be forever immersed in the charming flower cluster of your foot. So your 5 toes that I can reach with my 6 feet, my 5 senses and my mind, once I reach there, I become still. Now see, our rishis were so very observant. When they saw the honeybee, it will always be making one noise, no? That noise is that buzzing because of the wings. वो जो wings हिलते हैं, उससे एक sound आता है. But the moment that bee sits on the flower, उसके पंख जो है वो स्थिर हो जाते हैं और वो हनी को, वो नेक्टर को चूसने लगता है. हमारा मन भी, हमारे सेंसेस भी, जब उसके चरण की ब्यूटी के ऊपर आके बैठ जाते हैं, तो मन भी उसकी इधर उधर विचलन जो होता है वो बंद हो जाता है. So beautiful upama he is using. So the 6-footed bee is our 5 jnanendriyas and our manas. Just as a bee is captivated by the nectar, forgets everything else. Acharya is praying, may my devotion be such that I am completely absorbed in your grace. At a prayoga level, this verse is supposed to remove all poverty. See, there is a word which has been used in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 1, where, in chapter 2, in the initial first chapter, verse number 6, 5 or 6, where Arjuna uses this word for himself. He says, Kripana. Kripana. कृपण का मतलब क्या होता है? एनीबॉडी रिमेम्बर्स? मीना जी, आपने तो क्लास किया हुआ है भगवत गीता का. अभी मैं चैप्टर 2 का सवाल पूछूंगा.
Disabled.
नो.
कंजूस.
हाँ, कंजूस. कृपण का मतलब होता है कंजूस, राइट? कृपण का दूसरा और एक मीनिंग आता है रूट वर्ड से. कृपण कौन होता है? कृपण, कंजूस का मतलब क्या होता है? ही सेज दिस इज माइन, ये मेरा है, ये मेरा है, ये मेरा है. करेक्ट? सब कुछ मेरा है. एंड ही डज नॉट लेट गो. सच अ पर्सन इज कृपणा. बट कृपण ऑल्सो कम्स फ्रॉम द वर्ड कृपा. सो कृपा कौन कर सकता है? कृपा वो ही कर सकता है, ओनली दैट पर्सन कैन डू कृपा हु ओन्स समथिंग, राइट? श्री रामकृष्ण परमहंस के सभा में एक गाना गा रहा था कोई कीर्तनकार या कोई वन ऑफ द डिवोटीज डिसाइपल्स, जीवे दया करे जे जन हरि प्रेम करे से जन। राइट, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड। जीव पर दया जो करता है वो हरि से प्रेम करता है। ठाकुर वेंट इनटू समाधि and he started getting angry. In samadhi state he was angry and he started shouting, दया 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 करने की अधिकार तुमको किसने दी? गाओ, जीवे प्रेम करे जे जन कोई प्रेम करे से जन। दया करने की अधिकार तुम्हारे में नहीं है, दया तो वही कर सकता है दया तो वही कर सकता है जो 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 सबका मालिक है। So here when we see this ever flowing kripa can only come from that person who owns everything. Other than her there is no owner. So therefore, even when we are here saying that give me that prosperity, you are asking for what you do not have, which is the oneness, that continuous strive. Why do we work? Why do we go to our office? Why do we try and earn money? Why do we have relationships? We are all the time looking for happiness. What we do not realize is that this happiness does not come from something from outside. It is inside me. Because it is she who is permanently inside me in the form of Sat Chit Ananda that my Ananda comes. Not from something outside. In Advaita, we have this beautiful story. There was this king who was a very nice king. He was a very popular king. And he had very good ministers who were not scheming against him. He had a very beautiful wife, very devoted wife who was supporting him in the daily work. He had a son who, although he was a teenager, was very obedient. He also was participating in the Rajakarya. His Senapati was very strong. His army was very loyal. So such a person should be very happy, no? But he never had happiness. He was always feeling, I'm very sad, I'm very sad, I'm very sad. So he felt I had a psychological problem. So he called all the Vaidyas, all the Rishis, all the Munis, everybody came, and all the doctors came. And they said, okay, you try this medicine, you try that medicine. Nothing worked. Then ultimately, he said, okay, anybody make an announcement. Anybody who can remove the sadness of the king will get half the kingdom. So they started announcing. They were going from village to village, house to house. You know that वो ढिंडोरा पीटते हैं, सुनो सुनो सुनो, राजा की जो भी दुख को दूर करेगा उसे आधा राज्य मिलेगा. तो घूमते घूमते one of these Dindora walas, they went to a remote village, and that remote village they found there was one person sleeping under a bullock cart. So this person, the Dindora wala, he came and he prodded him. उसका डंडा होता है ना जिससे ड्रम बजाते हैं, उसको ठक ठक. ए सुना? हाँ सुना. तो तुम्हारे पास है आनंद? बोले हाँ. तो जो वैद्य था उसने बोला था कि जो खुश आदमी होगा उसका कमीज लेकर तुम पहनोगे तो तुम खुश हो जाओगे. तो राजा बोला कि राजा ने तुमको बुलाया है. बोले राजा को मुझसे मिलना है तो राजा को बोलो यहाँ आने के लिए. इन लोगों को अरे गुस्सा आ गया. अरे राजा को बोलता है इधर आने के लिए. बोले जाओ तुम राजा को बोलो. जाकर राजा को बोला. एक आदमी है वो बोलता है वो तो खुश है, बाकी कोई मिला नहीं है, मगर he said you have to go there. He said yes, very correct, I need that happiness, I will go there. So he went there and he sat down and with folded hands he said, please give me your shirt because your shirt will give me happiness. And this man started laughing and he was rolling in laughter. He said, क्या हुआ, हंस क्यों रहे हो? बोले मेरे पास तो शर्ट है ही नहीं. And it becomes an Upanishadic lesson that the ananda that this person feels sitting under a bullock cart is far greater than this king who has so many things. Where does that happiness come to us from? From our understanding of our true nature, which is nothing but Parameshwari. So that Acharya is telling us. So therefore, when our ego dissolves completely, see, he uses a beautiful analogy. He uses the Mandara Stabaka Subhaga. Mandara Stabaka means it is a wish-fulfilling tree of a bouquet of wish-fulfilling flowers. If you look at Kamadeva in his representation, the mind is the bow, right? Devi is one of the most important names, is called Kameshwari. And she represents herself in Kameshwari in Kanchipuram, right? So she holds a bow made of sugarcane. The sugarcane bow represents the mind. And the string is made of bees. The string with which that bow is strung is made of bees, which signify the continuous movement of the mind. When it rests in the hand of Devi, it becomes still. In another hand, she holds the 5 flowers that Kamadeva is supposed to hold. Aravinda, Ashoka, Chuta, Navamallika, Neelotpala. 5 flowers that she holds. Ashoka tree, Aravinda, white lotus. Ashoka, the red clear flower. Chuta, mango flower. Navamallika, jasmine. And Neelotpala, blue lotus. Aravinda creates the initial attraction. Ashoka creates emotional yearning. Chuta makes deep fascination, wanting to merge. Mind is now restless, focused only on the beloved. Navamallika, love sickness, breaking down of all resistance. Neelotpala, it creates stambhana or emotional paralysis, if one can say, total surrender. Now, instead of Kamadeva holding these 5 flowers, where are the 5 flowers? Her 5 toes are nothing but those 5 flowers. And I have completely given up myself into my deepest love for nothing be in this material world, but for those 5 toes, those feet beautifully painted with alta, with that beautiful anklet, with those toenails shining like moons, continuously showering us with that grace, that to those feet I have submitted myself. That is the Acharya saying here. So that is verse number 90. Any questions? Otherwise, we will do the shloka on Yoga Meenakshi, and then we will close.
Now, in my book, this shloka number 90 is Kada Kale Mata Kataya Kalitalakta Rasam Pipeyam Vidyartihi Tava Charana
Send it to
Nirnay.
me. Send it to me on WhatsApp. I'll check.
Yeah. The number is changed. The 91
maybe.
is Dadane Dinebhyaha.
Okay. I'll check. Send it to me. I'll check.
Yeah. It is Ramakrishna Ashrama that they are published.
Okay. They have 101 shlokas. Check.
Okay.
Check. You see the last shloka,
Yeah.
it will be 101.
Okay.
They have added one extra shloka.
Okay.
So anyway, okay. Now we'll go to the shloka on Yoga Meenakshi. Sahasrara padve sushumnanta marge Purachandra piyusha dharam pibantim Sadashravayantim sudhamurti mambam Param jyoti rupam bhaje pandya balam. Very simple, very easy to understand. Sahasrara padme, right? In the 1,000 petal lotus. Sushumnanta marge, at the end of the Sushumna. Now the 3 nadis, the Ida and the Pingala, they merge at the Agya Chakra and they start moving backward. But the Sushumna goes through the Agya and touches the Sahasrara. So therefore, Sushumnanta Marge, Spurat Chandra, shining moon, Piyusha Dharam Pibantim. She is drinking the Piyusha. Piyusha means Amrita, Dhara that is flowing down from the Sahasrara Chakra, which means that the self, which is now realized, is continuously immersed in the Amrita Dhara that is coming from the moon. Now, in Kriya Yoga, there is a mudra called the Khechari Mudra, where the tongue is supposed to be rolled back beyond the epiglottis, and it will then be able to physically taste the Amrita Dhara that is flowing from the Sahasrara. Now, I'm not a Kriya Yogi, so I will not be able to tell you whether this is really true or not. This is there in the Kriya Yoga books. However, at a spiritual level, without getting into the physical thing of it, we see that in the Soundarya Lahari itself, where we see that in the initial first 40 verses, we saw how the Kundalini rises from the Mooladhara Chakra, goes up to the Sahasrara Chakra, and then it comes down again. In that coming down, it reactivates all the 6 chakras downward and makes these chakras now activated at a far superior, higher level. That is what he is talking about here. Agastya Muni, he is saying, Spurat Chandra Piyusha Dharam Pibantim. She is acting with a far wider scope of work. Sada Sravayantim, causing to flow. Sada Sravayantim. Sudhamurti Mambam. She is the Sudhamurti. Sudha is Amrita. She is the embodiment of Amrita. Param Jyoti Rupam. Param Jyoti. Light. Light is the embodiment of Shuddha Sattva, or the embodiment of knowledge. And once you get that knowledge, you have merged into that deity that you are worshipping, and therefore Bhaje Pandevala. So that is the Yoga Meenakshi verse. Should we close for the day? Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.